Dandavad Pranam, Lilamoy Prabhu, can you please share the link where we have all the recording videos? Ragakara asked me he wanted to see
Yes,
that.
G. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going to
what
put
a
it in the
great
chat.
temple. Thank you.
Yes. Good morning,
Morning, good
obeisance.
morning, good evening, good evening.
Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. Tell me if I speak too loud. I'm putting this on to try to remind me to speak quietly over this side of the world. All right. Rupa Nuga Prabhu, always bright and fresh and sunny. Look. Hare Krishna. And Chintamani is somewhere different. She sent a message yesterday and I don't quite remember because it was at a distance on our Zoom in Italy. Where are you, Chintamani?
Dandavat Maharaj, I'm in Kopangan, Thailand.
Oh, Koh Phangan, Thailand. So you're somewhere very near Rupa Nuga Prabhu.
Just upstairs.
Just upstairs. Okay, wonderful. All right, in Kumkum Devidasi in Southern Oregon, if I'm correct with my geography. And Ashapurna on the east coast of America in a place which I never remember the name. Is it Philadelphia?
Dandavat Maharaj, it's New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, it's in that area. My geography of the east side is not very good. Okay, wonderful. And Tungarasa Devidasi, I saw just now somewhere. And Sevarupa, Tungarasa, yes, I see it now again. These things move on the screen. Tungarasa Devidasi here, nearby, in Norway. Sevarupa Devidasi here, nearby, sort of, South Africa. Dana in Florida, Jivana in California, and Radha Sundari in probably Mayapur, unless she's traveling somewhere. So this is our family that's come together here on Zoom and on Facebook. I went to try to find a second connection, but it's elusive. So I'm only able to have one connection at the moment. So I can't see on Facebook, but to those of you who are there, my greetings, my obeisances to all on Zoom, on Facebook, who are hearing, seeing live, and to all of the devotees everywhere. So let us begin with Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakan Vitamscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvijay Namaha. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all in different places. And today, yes, okay, I've noted we did have homework. I won't embarrass everyone to ask if you really did learn the things we're meant to be learning, whether you are reading Prapannajivanamritam, but we do hope that at least it's some encouragement each time for us to focus on the messages of our masters, because without a master, we are actually like a ship with no rudder. And we really do have masters. We've got the best masters. We've got the crème de la crème. We have a French devotee here with us in Vilagovinda Ashram, and we have two coming from Paris very soon. Means our Brazilian couple, Dayal Nithai Prabhu and Priya Sundari Didi, they're in Paris right now. So yesterday, by surprise. We heard, oh, we're in Paris, can we come? So they'll be coming here for a little while soon. So a little French connection going on. So crème de la crème. This is our masters, and the world is always eager to hear from some expert in whatever field someone is doing their research. The journalists, they focus on anything. They focus on, I don't know, Boeing. They focus on some company, and they go and they want to speak with the experts on aeronautics, and then they find amazing things. Oh, so much research has gone into how air passes over the wing. So much research has gone into the control panels, the fail-safe, the backup, how to make the aeroplane work. And so the journalists, they really do want to get hold of the experts in the field, and not just the person who's putting in the rivets or something like that, but the person, the innovator, the ones who really know inside out how it's all done. So you get interviews with the heads of each of the departments. But we have the head of the spiritual, the heads of the spiritual departments, means Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Srila Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and the line descending from Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami. It is not a small thing. It really is a great wonder that we are able to be in their orbit, in the orbit around what they have given. And Krishna himself. But again, to understand Krishna, we need a master. Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita very clear instruction, but without the master, then all kinds of interpretations and ideas, inventions, distortions come up. But we have Krishna's words in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's words also in Srimad Bhagavatam and other places. But to know, even to understand those words, they need to come through those who know the Lord. So those are our masters, our teachers. Yes, we are on Zoom, so we're here together. And I see a red sign saying chat's in the chat box. Dana, Hare Krishna, yes, Dana, Hare Krishna. And Leela Moy, Facebook, back to basics. Okay, yes, unfortunately, if I put on Facebook, I think I'll lose the connection. And Leela Moy Prabhu, all BBBC classes are broadcast and recorded. I turned off the microphone in time, but not the picture. No one sent me the suggestion yet of how newscasters don't sneeze when they're reading the news. Well, Hare Krishna, while we leave that problem unsolved, let us continue. So maybe today we should first come to Jivana Didi and to Kumkum Didi, come to them, because sometimes I do chat away a little bit too much and don't leave a lot of time. So, okay, in the absence of anything
today,
else.
Gurudev, we have two possible teams. Today for you, it's the disappearance day of Vaishnava Maharaj. Maybe Jivana and Kumkum can say something about him. And also some BBBCs ago, Narottam Nitai Prabhu asked a question about Guru Tattva. Maybe we can two possible teams for today.
Right. When I saw Narottam Nitai Prabhu arriving into the Zoom, I had something there in my mind that he asked a question. It was about Guru Tattva. All right. So let us first then come to Vaishnava Maharaj and well, his disappearance, but his presence and his qualities. And I think everybody who met him probably has something that they can say in glorification of his Vaishnava focus, qualities, like sincerity. It was part of his nature. He was a devotee, put it that way. He was a devotee, and he was a devotee with character, and maybe more character than many devotees. And character is something which characterizes the family of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are all individuals, and everyone is a different character in the play of the Lord's Leela, not cloned, like marching in step in a line, kind of cloned persons, but very much individual persons. And we know Vaishnava Maharaj as Shruta Shravan Prabhu. And I never met him actually as a sannyasi. We are in touch as a sannyasi, hearing from him, in communication always, but he took sannyas very late, received sannyas very late, and it was a time when he knew that he was going to leave the world. I mean, we all know we're going to leave the world, but he'd got the road signs on the road of our life, the road we're traveling down, the sign which is saying, you're going to have to turn off the freeway, go down this side road, and take the next boat to wherever we're going to be going. So he got those signs, and he took sannyas in the later part of his life. And that was also an indication of, our life, it is meant only for the Lord. And this is the whole principle of sannyas, with mind, body, and words. We will use our capacity, our energy, our life, living life, in the service of the Lord. So this also, it's an automatic statement, if you like, of his sincerity in doing that. So anyway, I'll leave the storytelling open to the Vaishnavas, and both Kumkum and Jivana knew him well. And here, who else knew Shruta Shravan Prabhu? I'm looking to see. I think maybe, is it only us three who knew Shruta Shravan Prabhu who were here? So would you like to toss a coin? Jivana, Kumkum, one of you would like to first say a few words, kindly. Toss a coin, which one first? As far in my book, you are both the senior devotees, and I don't want to say, one over another.
Please have Kumkum Didi speak first.
Okay, Jivana got the microphone. Jivana got the microphone first, so Kumkum Devi Nasi. Humbly we are asking.
Yes, humbly.
Dandavat Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas, it's what a pleasurable honor to be able to think about Sripad Shruta Shravan Prabhu, who became Bhakti Sharan Vaishnav Maharaj. And Jivana's being very kind in having me speak first, but sometimes the person who's going to really speak is introduced by somebody who can only speak a little bit. So he was my friend, he was my husband's friend, his wife is still my friend, our children are friends for such a long time. And through many different places to try to serve, many different Vaishnav communities, and seeing all of these changes. And one of the main things about him was his incredible memory in his application of for scripture, and very good Sanskrit and Bengali, and also in the form of kirtans, and was such an excellent mridanga player. And so everybody who knows him would look forward to hearing him talk or to lead kirtans, because he was also very full of wit. He would say things that just off without even thinking about it, that would just be so funny, but very applicable to the high spiritual topics that the points that he was making. And he used to joke that he was from a profession in his youth before meeting Srila Prabhupada that did not require Sanskrit or anything like that, or any high education. And this always struck me as he had no purpose to really involve his intellect and in before he met his gurus. But when he began to proceed on this perfectly divine path with the perfect attitude and encountering whatever came up and taking care of his family or helping with community situations, and most of all, of course, directly serving Srila Gurudev, then he would apply his best. And that's when we really began to understand he's very, very special soul, very advanced, very intelligent. So it was our great honor to be able to observe that and to have his affection, such deep affection. Even if he thought somebody needed to be corrected, he could do it in such a way that you were very sure of his intention was to be helpful, to make you come to a point of happily going forward in service. And I really look forward to hearing Jivan Aditi speak about him, because their friendships are really, really deep and intimate.
Jai, and I'm sure Vaishnava Maharaj, hearing these words, has his characteristic head down and sort of tolerating hearing anything about himself. But I think that Kumkum Devi Dasi gave a very substantial, short and substantial description of Vaishnava Maharaj. Beautiful. Shruta Prabhu, please be kind, please be merciful on us all. We can't chant perfectly everything about you. You have so many facets, but it's a joy to hear him being glorified, I have to say. Jai Kumkum Didi. Yes, Jivanadi.
Yeah, Kumkum covered the really salient points. I loved hearing him too. And as usual, she's very articulate and she can explain things very nicely. And probably repeat some of the things she said because they're very important about Srila Prabhu. One interesting thing is the way that he came to the mission. He came and he went to the temple and he never left. That was it. It wasn't like he went back and forth. I have to go back to my family. I have to do this. I have to do that. He went to the temple and that was it. He was just dedicated from that moment on. And like she said, he would sometimes call himself, but he said, "Oh, I'm just a truck driver." But as Kumkum pointed out, actually, Srila Prabhu was a genius. He was a flipping genius. He could just practically remember anything the first time he heard it. And he would have memorized so many of our songs. And he used to really like the song about all the different incarnations of the Lord, which is a pretty long song, the Jaya Jagadisha song. And he would know all those verses perfectly. And we would just love any appearance day when he would be there and he could sing that song for us. It was so beautiful. And he picked up Spanish, he picked up Bengali, and as Kumkum mentioned, he even knew Sanskrit, and he translated some of the books for Gurudev and worked on, I think he even worked on translating the Bhagavad Gita as it is Bhagavad Gita, Guru Maharaj's Bhagavad Gita into Bengali, is that right? Did he work on that?
I'm not aware that he may have helped to not Doyamoi, is it?
Mm-hmm.
The very professional Bengali lady living in California there.
Right. No longer with us, but yes, right.
Yes.
Yeah. But he loved all the books and all the literatures and was very, very elevated and very articulate in explaining things. We would always say at the end of a Sri Shravana Prabhu class, he would walk out and think, wow, I'm just so glad I came to Krishna consciousness. He would give you that kind of feeling at the end of the class that you were so grateful that, oh, whatever problems are happening or anything, I am so glad I came here. This is definitely the right thing. And he was very good friends with my husband, Yudamani Prabhu. And sometimes Yuda and I, after one of his classes, we'd kind of look at each other and go, geez, did you just beat him in tennis? That is like so rude. And we would just think, geez, this guy is amazing. He's so amazing. Also, his whole family is astonishingly amazing. If you ever have met Sanatani, his wife, she's also very brilliant. I always tell her she's one of the most brilliant women that I know. And she then very understated. I'm going to go back to Sri Shravan again for a moment, because he also was very understated. Like I said, he would always introduce himself as just being a truck driver. That was like the kind of the occupation that he did for some years. But he would kind of introduce himself like that. But he was also, even though he was so brilliant, he never minded that you weren't brilliant. You know, you never got this feeling like he's like, oh gosh, do I have to deal with this dumb person again? He never ever made us feel like that. I never felt like that. He would just be happy to hear anything, take on any questions, listen to anybody what they wanted to talk about. And he never pulled his, you know, esoteric side out, like, oh, do you know who you're talking to? It was never like that. And he had a really brilliant way of bringing even very difficult and high concepts that Guru Maharaj and Guru Dev would present. He could bring it to a level that we actually would, like I said, we would walk out of a class and go, wow, that was amazing. And bring these concepts down to a way that we could understand them. But then back to his family. So also his wife, Sanatani, she's very wonderful. And she also has a very beautiful grasp of Siddhanta and can explain it. She also has like this ridiculous serving attitude. She's just taken on some of the most difficult services. She's helped several of our dearest godbrothers and god sisters even pass on to their next stage in life, like Sureshri and Siddhanti Maharaj, and of course, like Sri Shravan Prabhu himself. And his whole family is very exalted and wonderful. And they have the most amazing service attitude. All of their children do. And from their oldest daughter, Vishnu, down to the youngest one, who's Devaki, they all have an incredible service attitude. And I always aspire for that. But yeah. And one thing is he did travel a lot, like Kumkum mentioned. He traveled to different places, and sometimes he would come back from somewhere, like when he went to Mexico or to Brazil or wherever he went, he would come back and he would just sigh and he would say, I wasted so many good jokes because their language couldn't understand what I was saying. He would be so disappointed. Oh my gosh. But that's about what I can remember right off the top.
Jai, beautiful. And of course, Shruta Shravapru, he had an American sense of humor. And he was he would definitely notice what is a British or any other country's sense of humor too. So, I mean, his sense of humor was very also down to earth and very elevated, but very down to earth. I mean, we can harmonize those in devotees, and devotees have that kind of nature. And one thing, also today is his disappearance day. Here means I did note on the calendar, and many thanks for that reminder. It's the 25th of January in the calendar. I mean, it goes by the lunar, but this year, the 25th of January. And so it's also on his disappearance day, just to reflect a little bit on his disappearance, that he passed away in harness. And Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj liked that expression. And I think it was actually Bhaktisaranga Goswami Maharaj who used that expression when one of his godbrothers told to him, and this is a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and said to him, "Oh, now you are aged. You should retire, take the holy name in the Dham, and live out your last years, peacefully." And he was a little disturbed by that, and he said, "No, I wish to die in harness." So some of you who know what a horse is, a motor car made of, flesh and blood. Anyway, a horse, they have harnesses. You put a harness on a horse, that way it's doing something. When it's got the harness on, it's pulling a chariot or a cart or a plow. It's doing something. So he wanted to die in harness. He wanted to die serving. And Shruta Prabhu, Vaishnava Maharaj, he did just that. He actually, I mean, you know better than me in California, but he was on a plane to come over to the East, and I think to start a tour to Thailand and Russia, perhaps. And so he was going to catch the plane, and then he took a little dip in his health and went to the hospital. And this way, within a very short time, instead of taking the plane to go to do the preaching, why is he taking the plane to come and do preaching, to share Guru Maharaj and Gurudev with those around the world? And so anyhow, he came to take that Sankirtan plane to come to do Sankirtan. And Krishna had that arrangement that his plane was diverted from the east to the outer space, beyond the material world. And we can understand very much that Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, they all gave grace to him, and that grace will certainly have manifested in his onward journey, as it were. And yes, there are many things about Shutra Prabhu, and it is a fact, to cover the point too, he's one of those very blessed devotees that got the blessings, not only association, but the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, the blessings of Srila Guru Maharaj, the blessings of Srila Gurudev, and in their good books and noted by each of them for his seva, his attitude, etc. And so I'm a personal witness of Srila Guru Maharaj and Shruta Prabhu, and of Srila Gurudev and Shruta Prabhu, and by the way, of many devotees and Shruta Prabhu, because he wasn't a hidden devotee. And a big mention does go to his whole family, because he had a big family, and I don't know if I can count how many children he had, but he did have quite a few. His family, 6, is it? I'm not sure.
Actually, he had 8, and one of them passed away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So he had 8 children of his own, but he was always treating all the devotees like his children, that if he can help them, give them shelter. If they're in need, then he's giving shelter. And we heard from the devotees how his house not only would have his children, but most of the time there would be some other, not even just one other devotee taking shelter in his home. I mean, staying there, sleeping there, eating there, everything. But his family was a refuge for the needy, but the needy devotees. And there's also lots of gently humorous things, but he was the temple manager for some time in Soquel, the ashram in California. And while managing the temple, there are some limits of the behavior of devotees who live in the temple. You can't just have people come and then, really behave badly all the time, and many things like this. You come and then correct behavior, and then maybe have some bad habits or whatever it is. But the whole principle of the ashram is that it's a clean place where you come to get clean from the material world. And anyway, he did have a duty to kick out a devotee who just couldn't leave some bad behavior from the ashram. And then the devotee saying, but now where will I go? I don't have any other shelter. And Shruta Prabhu said, you come and stay with us in our home. So he had the duty that you can't stay in the temple and keep doing these things. You've got to clean yourself up. And then, desperate, but Shruta himself gives shelter in his own home. So an example of, he's not envious, he's not heartless, but always trying to give assistance to all of the devotees. And I knew him from Navadip and from the time when he came to Guru Maharaj. And I remember, and he was with another devotee. And was it Mathura Nath Prabhu? I'm not sure. But he was with another devotee, and they arrived in the afternoon, after lunch. But we heard that they're coming, so we kept back prasadam, and then Badri Narayan Prabhu, the secretary of Srila Guru, the secretary for the Western world for Srila Guru Maharaj at that time, he said, so they're going to come such and such time. So you arrange them so they get their room and they get prasadam. And that was the first time I met Shruta Shavarpur, and then gave him prasad, and he's sitting humbly with the other devotee on that downstairs veranda outside the boundary, and giving them prasad. And I'd heard, this exalted devotee is coming, but yet, this very simple, very relatable, very human devotee came. And, we did have a little experience of like exalted devotees, appearing exalted also, we can say, there was a custom that the devotees may appear exalted too. So, but Shruta Shravapur, he had this very humble demeanor. But we have lots of stories. Which stories? Which stories will we tell? And he was a strong. Don't think that humility is a sign of weakness too. Humility is not a sign of weakness. Sometimes in the world, it's a sticking point for some devotees. That, we have to be humble, but we're in the material world. But Gurudev said that humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others and not wanting honor for yourself, this is the only way to succeed through all the obstacles, not only our spiritual life, but in the material world. And devotees think, how is this possible? But here we have somebody who was strong, who was focused, and who was humble, but not weak. Humility doesn't mean weakness. In fact, it's a strength to be humble in the face of all sorts of crazy things that go on in this world. So anyway, he was humble, but also strong. And he was fearless in his own words. He told me one day in one of his happy moods, but he told me one day, he said, I don't fear anybody. And he was brought up in maybe rough part of the Bronx. He seemed to like to mention the Bronx, so I think that has something to do with his younger days. And I hear the Bronx now is quite a civilized place, but then being in the Bronx, you had to be assert your own presence amongst lots of challenges. Anyway, he said, I don't fear anyone. And then he said, except this gentleman over here resting. It was in the afternoon, and we were together on veranda duty with Gurudev. And he'd just been massaging Srila Gurudev. And after lunch, traditional, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you see, after taking prasad, a little rest, Vishram, traditional, a gentleman. I'm sure gentlemen also don't take rest, but a gentleman takes rest, a little rest after the midday meal in the hot countries. And so Shruta Shava been massaging him. And then Gurudev resting nicely, and he withdraws and not to disturb Gurudev when he's resting nicely. And then I'm just there, and he came to me and whispering to me so as not to wake. He said, I don't fear anybody in this world, but except for one person, this old man here. One word of disapproval, I fear hearing this from him. So he's very cautious. And that is Guru Maharaj, and that is Gurudev too. He is humble. He is tolerant. Look what he tolerated, all of us, and so many things that took place. But he's also strong. So this also an example from Shruta. Really, he was fearless. He'd stories of him being pulled over by the police in America and all sorts of things. He didn't take insults from anybody, including the police, to his own cost sometimes, but it was showing his nature. But before Gurudev, then this humility, the humility to the Vaishnavas and what they will say, and his innate, it was an example of his innate desire to satisfy the Vaishnavas and not to get in their bad books or anything, one word of disapproval. And we kind of know the pain of a word of disapproval of something. And it's not a joy of being approved, that, oh, yes, I'm getting glorified by some person. It is just natural that the children, that it's natural that the children will want the affection and grace of their parents and not be in their parents' bad books. It is a natural family matter. Anyhow.
You remind me also, because I completely glossed over some of the most important things about Sri Srava Prabhu, was when Gurudev would come here on his world tours, and Sri Srava Prabhu would always be his driver, and he would be at his beck and call no matter what was going on, no matter what time of life, what time of day it was. And he would always take that service very seriously. And he would take Gurudev to different people's homes, and he would give that darshan to other people also. And also he would always arrange for other people to be able to come to the Sokal ashram so they could have Gurudev's association. And he would just had no life when Gurudev was there. He just loved to just take care of Gurudev the whole time and his whole family. And Sanatani, I have to say, Sanatani was always there. And if anything was going on with Sri Prabhu, Sanatani was behind it. She's amazing, and they really gave Gurudev a lot of happiness and peace. And Gurudev went, as you know, Gurudev went through a lot traveling, and especially when he was here and he had to spend time in the hospital. So many things happened, and they were there every step of the way. And really, really amazing. And so many times he just was a sold out slave to Srila Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. I do have a list of stories, but we won't come through all the stories. If I have a list, you must have a long list in California.
Those stories are so fun. Sometimes when he would give a class, some of his best classes, he would always like to say the times that he messed up really badly, or the times he got chastised by Gurudev. And he would always tell us those kind of stories, which are really very funny and very wonderful at the same time.
And we are giving from our perspective. I mean, of course, we all see from our own particular perspective, but we saw Srila Gurudev's affection to him. And I didn't see, like, day after day for a long time, the relationship with Guru Maharaj and him, but I was there for some time. I don't know if he did spend an extended time at some point, Srila Srava with Guru Maharaj, but I was certainly there for quite a bit of the time when he was there with Gurudev, with Guru Maharaj. And we saw their very sweet relationship. But in particular, I can comment that we've not only seen the relationship, but heard from Gurudev his appreciation of Shruta Srava Prabhu. I mean, we say Shruta Srava, it's not disrespect, it's how we know him. He is Shruta Srava to 99% of the devotees who knew him. And Vaishnava Maharaj presently, but we also know in his Vaishnava sannyas form, he was still Shruta Srava in his actual form, if you know what I mean. And later on, I also was traveling by the grace of the devotees. I mean, they took me to so many places, and in remote places in the world. And I'm thinking of Siberia and not only the temple, but in people's homes in remote places in the world. Very often, there is a photo of Gurudev, photo of Guru Maharaj. They have the altar, and there, somewhere on the wall or something, there's a photo of Shuta Shravaka. And that was quite touching to the heart. And then we say, oh, so Shuta Shravaka was here. Then they all come out with the stories of when he stayed and did this and did that. So he went to temples, no doubt, and he went around the world and shared in so many, like temples and temple programs, but he went to so many people's homes and remote places. And as we mentioned at the very beginning, anyone who knew him, then you sort of don't forget him, because he's a particularly characterful devotee character. I don't know how to
Pretty
say
sure
that,
that's
but
the word.
respectfully saying it, not disrespectfully. And with his family also. And we really, as Jeevan mentioning, and Kumkum also a little earlier mentioning about that Sanatani very much how like a wife supports the husband. The wife is the Gurudev saying, the wife apparently doesn't hold the top place in the family, but in reality, she's the head of the family. And Shruta had respect for Sanatani. And that family team, they showed how you can be a family in Krishna consciousness with so many children and so many other people's children and so many other people's children who are not children anymore, fully grown up adults, but still needing shelter. Anyhow, Shruta Shravaka, may you be pleased with our remembrance and a few words. And there are many more words to say. One is his reliability. I have to just spend a few seconds on that. If he was going to do, if he said he'll do something, he would do it. And he actually told me in India, because we knew him from India, and sometimes we didn't have what in the West you consider like a necessity, like a computer needs a printer and things like this. And so, Krishna gave a computer, but no printer. Anyway, step by step. And Shruta, he said, I'm your man. If you need something in Navadip, just let me know. And we didn't give him a list. Okay, we need, chocolates and things like this. Things that were actually needed in Seva, but, some of the like hardware, if you like, for the computer age, when the computer age came. And Shruta Shravaka, then he would bring the things. So if we needed something, it would be sure it's going to come when he comes, or when somebody coming from America, he'll send it with them. And not that, oh yeah, maybe I can do something, but he would always do whatever he's going to do. And he helped a lot in the book fairs, in the preaching, in so many things in India, by the way, and would do. Kumkum Devidasi, I can see you got more things ready to say. Now we got started. Would you like to chip in with something? Or before we move on, or we have to keep moving too, don't we? Yes.
That's what I was thinking. It's endless. And so if I began, then I'm not sure if Narottam Prabhu will get his question answered again this week.
Okay, well, let us come to Narottam Nitai Prabhu, because he does have this question of Guru Tattva. And when we come to Vrindavan, then Srila Guru Maharaj also pointed out that there we will find that all are our Guru. So now we are giving a little focus today, rightfully, for one particular devotee that we know, Shruta Shravaka, who became Bhakti Sharan Vaishnava Maharaj. And he was a teacher to many, as we heard just now from Jivana, when we come from a class, and really he gave, what I can think from Yudamanya Prabhu's expression, I think Yudamanya would say, jaw-dropping class, like jaw-dropping class. I can picture Yudamanya Prabhu saying that. And anyway, he would give jaw-dropping classes. So what is that? It's teaching, it's being a guide to help others. What is the message of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada? What is the message of Srila Saraswati Thakur? What is the message of, and he will also quote from Jiva Goswami and from various places where we may not have much access to those teachings. But he would quote extensively and he would be sharing those teachings. And ultimately, it is sharing the serving mood. We all have to find our slot in service. And another senior devotee did say that everyone's got a slot. Everyone has their place in devotional service. At the beginning, maybe difficult to see where that is, both for them and for others, but there will be a place. There is a place for everyone in service. So when we come to Vrindavan, in the Vrindavan conception, or entering into Vrindavan, there Srila Guru Maharaj says, everyone is helping us. We are not alone. We have our shelter and those who are helping us to engage in service. And as they see that we are doing, they are giving grace and giving us more capacity to serve. And that sometimes more capacity to serve, we think that means, okay, more energy, so I can dig the fields, more fields instead of a small plot of land, a big plot of land. But also more capacity to serve means serving in more and more responsible ways and intimate ways like this. So Guru Tattva, Srila Guru Maharaj mentioned, pointed out, is very difficult to understand. If we think that everywhere is Guru, everyone is helping me to understand Krishna, then it is very healthy. And then we can see guidance coming from everywhere. But still, in this material world where we are, we have to be selective. In the prison house, all the prisoners in the prison house, it's not good to associate with every prisoner, as some of our dear devotees who have been in the government guest house, they're well aware that the prison can be the university of how to be a better criminal by association with the criminals. But if we can associate with those who are trying to do their best to get clean from the criminal mentality so they can come and be a contributor in the society, if we can associate with that section, then we can get tips on, what it's like outside the jail, what the proper mentality is, how to protect ourselves from the bad associations, how to find out the good association. So at every level, we have got some discrimination, some discriminatory capacity. But Guru Maharaj pointed out that Guru Tattva is very difficult to understand, that we cannot fully understand. Guru Tattva, Dham Tattva, Shiva Tattva, Nam Tattva. Perhaps these were the four that particularly were mentioned by Srila Guru Maharaj. But Guru Tattva, we have mantras which tell us that we must see that our Guru knows Krishna. He's in the joy of Krishna consciousness. Krishna conscious. He knows Krishna when we're coming to like specific personality. But where everyone knows Krishna, and I'm the one who's forgetful and I need to know Krishna, then we're in the land of gurus. And when they know Krishna, what are they in relation to us? They are our true well-wishers. Please wake up. Here's some opportunity. Okay, you know something about Krishna, but don't think you know everything. We can give you more tips. And wherever we are, we're going to get guidance towards the center. And then, of course, Srila Guru Maharaj very famously also saying that in this world, we have to see that Krishna's affectionate hand is behind everything, which it is. And also Guru Maharaj says this is not imaginary, it is the reality. And when we can see in that way, then everything that's coming to us, apparently good or bad, is coming through his affectionate hand. His affectionate hand is giving sanction to everything that happens to us. And what's happening to us in the real perspective is to bring us to Krishna consciousness. And I don't have it open in front of me, but we are again reading here. Why again, I say? Because joyfully again, we are reading here in the morning program, Loving Search for the Lost Servant. We do rotate, when we finish a book, we start another book. So, we go through the books one by one, and Loving Search for the Lost Servant. And so much sweet expression in that book from Guru Maharaj about the grace of Guru. And we're now in the second chapter. So we read chapter 1, read chapter 1, and we're in chapter 2. And it reminded me two things. Some part in the beginning there is reminding me, oh, is this the golden volcano, or is this Loving Search for the Lost Servant? But it is very much like golden volcano, this stress on Mahaprabhu. And it was also in my mind, am I reading Loving Search, or am I reading Sri Guru and his grace? Because these themes of Mahaprabhu's gift and the necessity of Guru and his grace is running very strongly. And I was also, we do think, because we have willing, feeling, and thinking. And, we do feel that the very first chapter of the search for Sri Krishna is like a very good chapter. They've got everything in it. We only have this one chapter, we've got everything. This kind of, like, just straightforward, straight from the, they say straight from the gate, like full throttle straight from the gate. Then the very first chapter of Search for Sri Krishna, it's very important for everyone always. But then I am thinking too, this Loving Search for the Lost Servant, this first chapter, and halfway through the second chapter, but it's just so important. Everything is there for us, for our journey. And the emphasis that Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. And Gauranga is Krishna. He's Krishna, and in a special mood with the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani. It's easy to say, and it's happy to say, but when we can get a little tiniest glimpse of, wow, how amazing is this manifestation of the Lord. And then he is teaching, he's showing like the perfect Guru. And he's living his life so that there is no black spot on a white cloth, and all these things, very carefully guarding everything that's done to show the exemplary behavior of a devotee, and giving instruction. And sometimes that instruction is hard instruction to some devotee. But everybody, one is being dealt with in a personal way. The instructions are coming for us all, and coming for us all through Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata, in particular, these two scriptures. And then you can say, coming to us, in particular, through golden volcano of divine love, the Sri Guru and his grace, search for Sri Krishna, loving search for the lost servant, revealed truth, affectionate guidance. The purports of Srila Prabhupada in the books, some of those purports, they are booklets in themselves. Really, they're booklets in themselves. We have that little book that we give out. We say for the newcomers, when home comfort and inner fulfillment, in search of the original source by Srila Gurudev. They're small booklets. but there's so much there. And as a book, one's attention comes to their content. But the purports of Srila Prabhupada, which are based on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentaries, and sometimes he's giving a whole commentary saying, this is what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains in his commentary on the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we are getting from our masters like so much. And the Guru Tattva, it is the truth that we've got guardians who, if only we will listen to them, can deliver us from really birth, death, old age, and disease, which again we can say easily, but look around. It's what this world is. And look around a little bit more and hear from those who have experience of death, that what is waiting for, a lot of people when this body dies is not a happy result. Oh yes, they died peacefully in their sleep, they lived happily ever after in the spiritual world. That for the majority of persons is not exactly the case, as is described from so many first-hand reports by our own devotees of their experiences of what they've seen when they've left their bodies. So we mustn't be with our eyes closed denying the reality that we are on a journey. We must be with our eyes open and search for guidance now rather than in the future. And that guidance is there in abundance. If only we can be able to, as Gurudev would often say, make ourselves into a good receiver. And so the Guru Tattva is that the truth that actually the environment is friendly, that Krishna's agents are wandering, his direct agents are wandering in this world, and the agents of the agents, the whole network of relief work is taking place, and especially now in the age of Mahaprabhu. So we shall try to see everything in the line of what can I learn? What is the message for me in all of this? And sometimes we see things. And recently I saw something and I didn't want to see it, but when you've seen something, you can't help but see it. And then it kind of stays in your mind. But I'm thinking, but what's the message for me in what I saw? Why was I allowed to see that? So this way, trying to see every incident that takes place in the world outside too. Why do we see something unfortunate? Then okay, there's some message, there's something for us ourselves. Anyhow, if you like to know about Guru Tattva, there is a specialist book which has never been shown to the world, revealed to the world before as such a specialist book, and it's called Sri Guru and His Grace. So don't think, oh, but this is in English, it's not Sanskrit verse from 10,000 years ago. No, it's in English that we can understand right now in the modern world. And it's by Srila Guru Maharaj. So the very expert on all of these matters. At the very beginning, we are saying about how, in the material world, everybody wants to meet the expert on black holes, the expert on flying an airplane, the expert on microbiology, the expert on anything. And here we have the experts. Hare Krishna. So we are the students. And sometimes we are the very foolish students. But we shall try to come from very foolish to being less foolish, and less foolish to being little sensible to being a good student. And that can only come also by the grace of Guru and the grace of Gauranga. But Sri Guru in his grace will help understand as best we can. Again, all knowledge, the knowledge side, is to clear our doubts. When we don't have doubts, then we're happy to know grass is green, sky is blue. If we only see in black and white, then we may be not so sure and we need some descriptions of something. But when we can see, then we can see. Hare Krishna. And I think when Narottam Nitai Prabhu brought up the question first, I also briefly mentioned that there is a whole section in the Gaudiya Kantaha, a book approved by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, systematically compiled different tattvas, different truths, Vishnu tattva, Guru tattva, Vaishnava tattva, and different truths are there. And there is one whole chapter with many, many quotations collected about Guru tattva. But as I say, I don't want to divert devotees' reading matter from Gurudev, Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. But that book has been available for many, many years. And compiled by Srila Prabhupada's disciple. I forget his name, but he's the father of one of our devotees too. But a long, long time ago, this was brought together and available from Rasa Bihari Lal and Sons in Vrindavan. They took the manuscript and published it themselves, said, okay, we'll publish it. So there we are. Hare Krishna, look, there's Rupanuga Prabhu and Chintamani Devi Dasi on the islands of heavenly planet of Thailand. You see, Thailand, heavenly planet. In a way, it has its heavenly side to it. And it's a covering because everyone in Thailand is doing the same as everyone in New York City and in California and in South Africa and Norway and every other place. Italy also. What are they doing? They're eating, sleeping, having family, defending. They're growing from seed to baby to youth to maturity, then dwindling and passing away. So whether we're on heaven or whether we're in apparent hell, we're on the same boat, the Titanic, whether we're in the first class lounge or whether we're in the bunk beds lounge, or not lounge, bunk beds dormitory, by the engines rumbling away. It doesn't matter, the ship's going to go down. And as one of our devotees who does have died and was physically brought back, one of our devotees soon after that, I met, and that devotee gave the example that we are all on the ship and the ship is going to sink with no survivors, guaranteed no survivors. So understand how to use our time on this ship properly, because it's going to go down and there's going to be no survivors, and that includes us all. And that's came like as a clear realization from somebody who left their body for some time and was brought back, you can say artificially, but nothing happens without the will of the Lord. And very interesting meeting with her, Krishna Sundari in Australia some years ago now. Her realization, her experience. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we all need a good guide. And quickly looking in the chat box, Leela Prabhu, yes, gave the URL for back to basics classes. Priyanana, Tom's Temple. Oh, she's in the Tom's Temple, I do believe. Oh, there's a picture of Shruta Shrava. Priyanana sending a picture of Shruta Shrava with Srila Gurudev. There you are. And please, devotees, Just because Srila Prabhu is quite famous for wearing jeans and shorts and other things, doesn't mean that we all have to wear jeans and shorts and other things. In the temple, it is dhoti and kurta for the men. Ladies, it is sari. So, but this is classic Shrutashava wearing his particular uniform. Okay, and Chintamani, I invited Paramananpu to come here, to come share on Shrutashava, but he's in a loud place. So here is his contribution. Oh, okay, short contribution because we are a little over time. So Paramananda said he, Shrutashava, was the embodiment of what Srila Govinda Maharaj valued the most in his disciples, loyalty and chastity to him. And that says it all. The rest is Guru and disciple Leela, and he was a good and dear friend. My obeisances to all the assembled devotees. Okay, wonderful. I'm pleased I did look in the chat, and Chintamani, thanks for calling him up, because actually Paramananda, he's got lots of Leela stories, pastime stories with Shrutashava Prabhu too, as we all do who met him, as we mentioned earlier. Narottam, oh yes, Narottam Nithakur, happily. And thank you for having questions. Questions are good, comments are good. Your feelings, things from each of you that you read and experience in the week, etc. We're happy to share. And one of the basics of bhakti is that we are open with each other and can share things which have given us inspiration. If it gives us inspiration, there's a very good chance others will look and think, yes, yes, that's definitely a reminder. I'm going to be a good devotee from this moment onwards, from 4 o'clock, 7 minutes and 30 seconds on Thursday, the 25th of January, 2024. From this moment onwards, I'm going to be a good devotee. Please. Oh, and as Mangal Maharaj would say, who is the sannyasi in charge of the Dum Dum Park temple in Calcutta, the first branch of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Master of the modern time, he would say, please bless me. Just very humbly say, please bless me. So, remembering Mangal Maharaj's genuine humility and his Vaishnavata, remembering Shrutashava Prabhu, his genuine humility and his loyalty and chastity, a very good point brought up by Paramananda Prabhu. Then we can say to you, each of you, please bless me. And we'll do our best to share our good wishes with each of you too. So if we join all the lines between all the devotees of giving and taking, then we've got a very sweet Sadhu Sangha association. And that's each of you. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, and Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. And especially today to remember Sripad Bhakti Sharan Vaishnava Maharaj ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, all the present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai, all the assembled devotees ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda, unlimited millions of devotees ki Jai, and Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Shri Bhaktivedanta Madhusudana Maharaj ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. So whether you are in minus 30 degrees in Siberia or plus 30 degrees in Thailand, wherever you are, please chant Hare Krishna and be happy. And everywhere in between, I said, not only those two places. And I think that covers almost everybody here. Dandavat, Dandavat, Govinda, Govinda.